We've all heard of Wikipedia, right? The famous free online encyclopedia where users can access different articles or entries, add their own entries, or edit or update different entries. And this project attempts to create a website that's similar to how Wikipedia operates. In particular, the user will have access to different entries which they can access, read, and edit if they want. They can even access random pages, or they can create their own new web page. And so let's start by taking a look at our index or home page here, where the user gets a list of all of the available pages, as we can see over here. And then they have the choice of clicking anyone and any of those entries, and then they can view the entry. And the idea here is, in general, it would be very tedious to make an HTML page for each one of those entries. And so the way Wikipedia does it is that it stores its entries in a markup language known as wikitext. And so we'll attempt to do a similar idea. We store each of those entries in a markup language known as Markdown, which is more popular. And then once the user clicks on any given entry, the system will load in the entry and transform the markdown into HTML using the markdown library, and then it will display the page to the user. So we can see here is just as simple as I can click any entry I want, and then I will get displayed any information pretty much. And then the next thing here we can take a look at is this search functionality, where the user can type in any search query. And if the search query match, let's say I search for CSS, which happens to exist here, if the query matches an entry, then the user gets redirected to that entry. However, if it does not match an entry, but it could match a couple or more than one entry, then the user gets to view those. So for example, if I say pi here and hit enter, I see that the entries that match the query pi include Python, and then I can click it and go there. I can also say for O and then get all of the entries that contain O. And obviously notice here that it's not case sensitive at all, which adds a lot of flexibility here. And then if I search something that does not exist, like Yahya, then we see here that no result was found. And then the next functionality we're going to take a look at is the ability to edit or alternate an entry. And we can do so by clicking the edit entry button over here. Then we can display it with this edit entry heading and the form. And then we can edit it however we want. We just say we can add something about multi-processing, and we can talk about it. And you can see here that the content was loaded in Markdown, and if I intend to edit it, I would edit it in Markdown. And then once I click update, you see that I get redirected back to the Python page or entry, and I see that it was indeed updated, right? And I can do this with anything I want here. I can go to Flask, for example, and just, I don't know, delete this thing for whatever reason, or just add a new line. Let's see, what can I do? So yeah, we can just remove this for whatever reason, update, we see it got updated, right? And then the next one to take a look at is creating a new page. The user can create a new page. He gets a similar form to the edit entry, but this entry is empty. And then there's a couple of different interactions that can happen here. If I say enter a title that already exists and I attempt to create, let's just fill this with anything and create, we see that I get this message that tell me that it already exists, and if I want, I should go ahead and edit it, right? And then if I go ahead and add one that does not exist, let's just say I want to take one about machine learning, and just gonna put the heading machine learning, and then text over here, and then I create it. I see that it gets created and I get redirected immediately to this new entry that I created, and I can easily just edit it however I want. So I can say edit it, right, update, and it gets updated, no problem at all. And then the last functionality we're going to take a look at here is this random page. I can just click a random page on the random page link, and I just get taken to anything random here. any of the random entries, and we just saw that the machine learning one did pop up, so it's definitely included. And so yeah, this was just a brief illustration of this website that attempts to show the same functionality that Wikipedia has to offer. Obviously, this website was built in Django, and it uses a lot of the functionalities that Django allow us to create those dynamic websites that really we can just define the form and extend upon it so that we can easily add new entries or new HTMLs of the same structure and so on, and edit them as easily. Thank you all for watching and have a nice day.